Hi there, welcome back to this YouTube channel. My name is Julia, and in today's clip we are gonna review and test out the NIKITA X Morphe palette. This is a new release that I was actually not expecting really, and I really fell for the color scheme. To be completely honest, I am not the biggest, I wouldn't call myself the biggest fan of NIKITA DRAGUN. I really like her for the fact that she is really out there. I love her style and how, it's just something with her that I really grasped to. But I actually started recently, like maybe a year and a bit, to actually really be into her and watch her YouTube clips, although she was not as active as she used to be on her YouTube channel. However, I've seen a few mixed feelings with this palette. The majority of people, what I've seen, they would complain is the fact that she did not even wear that much colorful eyeshadow lately, and she's mostly like super basic, and why would she release a huge palette with Morphe and have loads of colors? Personally, I did not even think about that. Realistically speaking, that like the way I've seen the whole palette and the whole aesthetic and the whole concept and the color scheme in it was on the idea that she is very out there, and her outfits, for example, do speak truly on that. And I feel maybe, I don't know, she thought of, I would say, I've got no clue, I did not talk with her, but the way I was thinking is maybe she did this palette in this way because she wants to represent truly herself, although it not might be that lately she did wear so much color on her face rather than her clothing. Does that make sense? I don't know, this is how I've seen it at least. I did not even think for a second, oh my god, she doesn't wear, colorful eyeshadow, although she does, but apparently lately she barely did wear any. I don't know, I really loved the color scheme, and that's why I was really attracted to purchase myself, so I'm just gonna open it now. Also, I really love the packaging. I've seen a few people speaking on this as well, that the packaging is meh. I can't relate to that. I actually really like it. The way her name is written is actually like, it's not matte, it's actually glossy. And also here is metallic, like the logo, Morphe X Dragon Beauty. That's the logo of Dragon Beauty, which is Nikita's beauty line. I don't know, I really was into the packaging, although some people seem to not like it, to think that it looks cheap. I don't think it looks cheap, but obviously everybody to its own taste. Da, 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 da. This is how it looks like, and I really love the color scheme. I truly do. I always love a palette that does have plenty of colors in basic shades all in one, and not to mention that the reason why I bought this palette is, besides the fact that I like the color scheme, it has one shade named Rasengan, and I'm a huge fan of Naruto, so there were like two reasons why to buy this palette personally. So before actually starting and applying my primer, which is from P. Louise, by the way I'm gonna do this clip is show you the performance on the eyes, and then at the end do the swatches, but I will leave as usual the minute the swatches are starting in the description down below, because I know sometimes people are only interested in that. However, that doesn't explain the performance of the eyeshadows. Sometimes I find with certain eyeshadows that they swatch really well and look horrible on the eyes, and I found some that do the actually opposite. Like I found some shimmers that look mesmerizing on the eye and they look crap as a swatch. So just, a heads up. But yeah, so I decided to go in firstly with shade Rasengan, which is a bit like colorful, bam in your face. However, I've got no clue with what shade to start, and since I really love Naruto, might as well use that shade because it was pretty much the second reason I bought this palette, so I'm gonna use it. So when it comes to the brushes, I did decide to not purchase them because I did notice, usually with collaborations of Morphe X someone, when it comes to brushes in general, they do tend to repeat themselves. I do own the Morphe X Jeffree Star actually, and I did notice a few of the ones I have in this set do repeat in NIKITA DRAGUN set. When it comes to this shade, I definitely have to say it is the kind of one that you would rather apply a tiny bit at a time. It's a kind of like pigmented and scary shade, and I mean, it blends out beautifully. It's just, I don't know, I tend to feel much safer if I apply a teeny tiny bit at a time. So yeah, this is what I have to say about it. However, it did blend out very nicely. I still need to blend out at the end. I did not focus much over there, but I will do so right now. I'm not quite sure if I did mention at the intro, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm gonna do 2 different eyes. I always do this, especially when I don't go anywhere. Like literally, I'm not going anywhere after this, so might as well show you as much as I can onto these lids. So one other shade that did stood to me the most is Shigo, and I think I'm gonna go for it in the crease. Might as well, like why the hell not? What I can definitely say is I expected it to be a bit more neon than it actually looks online. But it's a stunning shade, it's very pigmented, and it's not actually patchy. Like, I do have a few greens in my life, and they are a bit more hard work to do in the crease, because for some reason, sometimes it really depends actually on the eyeshadow's mood. It tends to just literally have like a line in the crease whenever I blend it out there. Just sometimes, I've got no clue what's the deal with that, but this did not do that, because sometimes greens are very nasty when it comes to blending. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Rasengan, I must say, it looks much more, I don't know, it looks definitely different on the camera rather than in real life. Like, at first I was like, that's not a shade to represent Rasengan. Like, I thought it's just too, I thought it was too turquoise. But when I see it on my eyes, it actually is like blue, like a combination in between the two of them, but more on the blue side. Like, it really does, I feel, work out for the name Rasengan. Obviously, that's me speaking as a fanatic. Like, I really love Naruto, okay? I really love it. And I don't love it because lately it's been so popular. I love it since the day I've seen it at TV when Naruto was a little guy, and then I found out Crunchyroll is a thing and I just binge watched it until Boruto. So let's go with some purples. I know this is a bit like sounding crazy, but I'm just gonna do it. And I think I'm gonna go with ABG on this eye and see how it turns out. That is a stunning purple. It's like a lilac. I'm not quite sure if I'm explaining it right, but wow. It definitely does shift the color when you combine it with Rasengan, but I guess that's, you know, a given since they're like 2 really bright shades. But it does blend down very beautifully into a darker purple. But the shade on its own, you can definitely see it. It is a very stunning purple. Let's use shade Sakura since, again, if you're watching Naruto, you know it's a character from the series. However, I did not actually watch the entire video when Nikita described each, you know, signification of the colors of the names. I'm not quite sure if she named Sakura because of the actual Sakura cherry blossom or because of Sakura the character. I'm not gonna lie, so I've got no clue, maybe both. What I can really say about this shade is definitely more on the dusty side and on the very light side. Like, it does show up very beautifully, but it is harder to work on top of Shigo, really. Like, I think it gets extremely lost, especially at the end over there. I'm not quite sure if you can see. However, I think in general, when it comes to these very light shades, it's very hard to work on top of something that is darker. I think this would work out when you would do a cut crease and you want to pack it on, and it's definitely gonna keep the pigmentation, because I must say the pigmentation is there. I think I'm just gonna go instead with Nikita on top because I want some more punchy, like on the other side, so you can see that actual sharpness at the end. One thing I'm very shocked is it is much lighter than I was expecting. Like, it looks so bright into the pan. And on the eye, don't get me wrong, it's pigmented, but it's just not as neon-y as I thought. Like, not in a bad way though, because I am scared of pinks. I actually did not think I would like this pink. However, I think it's a very tasteful pink. Is that a thing? For me it is. Like, literally, I really like it. I did not blend it out as much, however, because one thing I did notice is it doesn't want to blend very beautifully with this green, which again, it's a general problem I always have with greens. They're very hard to work out with other shades to blend out, and I think this might be you know, a reasoning why it doesn't blend out as evenly as I would like. Don't get me wrong, if you would stay like this, you would not necessarily notice it. It's very hard to notice because it's in the crease. But obviously I know there are like perfectionists out there, so I'm just gonna put a heads up. I don't think this green is gonna be easy to work blending out other shades into it. Like, it seems a bit hard. So I actually managed to save also the tail. It wasn't looking that great. However, after a bit of more blending out and putting some concealer to correctify it, it looks actually really nice. I think it's time to try some shimmers. I have a few in mind. Metamorphe... I don't think I'm gonna be able to pronounce that. Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Oh my god. Metamorphosis. I hope I said that right. I'm very attracted to this shade. I want to use it, and Kitana, it looks stunning. So I think I'm gonna go with both of them. So this is actually a very interesting shade. It is purple with pink and purple glitter into it, which you would not expect because it has like, it also has blue into it, but the blue doesn't actually pick up at all. That's actually interesting. I really like it. It's a beautiful shade that you would not expect, you know, this shade to come out of it, if you ask me. But it's definitely extremely glittery, and obviously it has fallout as well. But like I said, I don't mind it myself. It's actually very mesmerizing. It does have fine glitter specks into it, which makes it more sparkling. Kitana is definitely more on the glittery side. I really like how it's picking up. It definitely has blue glitter into it. I'm not quite sure how well the camera picks it up, but it's a more of a duochromatic sort of purple slash blue. I was expecting the other shade to do that since it has like marble turquoisey blue shade into it. However, this does what I was expecting this to do. Does that make sense? Now I want to go with estrogen on this eye. So this shade is actually really interesting because it did pick up the underneath you know, undertone of Rasengan, which is actually, you know, a different nice note to know that you can mix it up with the shade underneath and pick up that particular liking. So this shade doesn't want to actually show as pink as it shows into the pan. It just wants to get the underneath shade as in like Rasengan now. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna do the same thing with every single shade, but it's an interesting one. Obviously now I'm trying to pack up and see if it's gonna keep its actual pink undertone. It does slightly do, but it still doesn't wanna cope with the fact that I want to show up as in like in the pan. I think it's interesting to work as a topper on every single shade and create different glittery shades onto your lid. I'm gonna use this one on the other eye and see how it looks like. It definitely looks like a beautiful gold. I love gold, so extremely glittery, which I'm not mad about it. Like, It still does have shimmery shades like this one in the middle, but so far the rest I use, they do have tons of glitter into them, which makes them 10 times more sparkly. I really like that. I enjoy both of them worlds, so it's very nice that you have a variety of both of them in the palette. Like, the way it seems is these ones that definitely spark the most out at you have glitter specks into them, while these ones, like, they seem more chilled down, which are shimmers. I really like, it seems to be an equal part of both of them. Sometimes you find palettes that do have less the ones with shimmers, or the other way around. I actually like the idea that it seems to have both equally. Now I want to go with Army on this eye underneath the actual eye part and see how it looks like. And I'm gonna go with Baby Boy on the right eye. Right, so I'm gonna go and put some lashes on, eyeliner, and I think something in my waterline, and I'll be right back with my swatches and some final thoughts. Except that dot of unwanted mascara, I did put the rest onto my eyes, and I realized I actually did not use anything for my brow bone highlight, and I decided to test out NYK on both of the eyes and see how it goes. That shade looks so similar to my highlight, which, I mean, you could definitely use this as a highlight for your face. I always do that, so yeah. I also decided to go with shade Matrix, which is purely glitter. I'm not quite sure how well it picks on the camera, but I have a lot of fallout because of it. I do not use a glitter glue, which this one in particular, it is that chunky that it does a mess to your face if you apply it without glitter glue. But can we appreciate how mesmerizing this is? Like, it truly is as mesmerizing as it looks into the pan. It's stunning, it's sick. I actually don't have any kind of glitter like this into a pan. Speechless. It looks amazing. So whenever I do the swatches, I switch to my phone camera. I always do this, so I'm just gonna jump straight in with the swatches of this guy. And now, since I'm pretty much doing the swatches, I really can say the formula seems very buttery, exactly like the 35XO palette. It seems very buttery, very nice, especially the first two rows. I think they definitely pretty much are similar to the 35XO in shades, in texture, and they look very mesmerizing. Nicole, the red shade, I think is the one that it's a bit more like crumbly, but I think it might be a pigment, so I can say that about it. When it comes to the middle row, they look as well mesmerizing, although it's a bit sad. The actual shade that is marble, it kind of like starts to lose out the marble by the time you're using it. It's because I can see by the time I did swatch it and took it with my finger, it starts to kind of like get lost into one shade. And the next row with the pinks, I can definitely say this is the worst in terms of swatching it. They don't want to swatch nice. However, when it comes to that purpley ABG shade, I can definitely say it truly is beautiful onto the lid. And same goes with Nikita and Sakura. I think they are very nicely on the lid. The last row, again, I had issues when it comes to swatching. I had to go back and forth with a bit of a Shigo and Rasengan, but again, on the lid, they look mesmerizing, they look very nice. I am personally very happy with how the makeup turned out. It's a bit messy than what I generally do. Like, whenever I do these type of reviews, it turns out messy because what I'm trying to do is, put plenty of shades onto the lid with no necessarily any sense into my head. Please don't judge that, because literally I know it's not like amazing or perfect or whatever, but I'm trying to test out how the shade look like, if they are patchy. But yeah, I mean, I really love the color scheme. I know I might sound like a broken record when it comes to people who are following me and are subscribed. Maybe you subscribe as well. When it comes to reviewing palettes and generally anything reviewing on my channel, I tend to be on more the positive note because I don't get any PR. I don't receive anything. So basically with what you see, I pretty much most of the time bought it with my own money. I only had like a few products being sent out to me, and I always specify that. Pretty much what I do is buy something new launched that I do vibe with it, and I really did vibe with this palette. I do really love it. Has a glitter. I am obsessed with glitter. I love glitter in my life, so that's just the cherry on top for me. And literally I don't know what else to say, because I'm not gonna, you know, be like, oh, you need to buy this, you definitely have to buy this. No, you don't need to buy this if you have something similar into your collection, or, you know, just colorful things. Anyways, when it comes to eyeshadows, obviously you don't necessarily need it. I don't think it's like an outstanding formula, but it definitely is a good formula. It's affordable and it has everything in it. I think it's definitely a good palette for a starter into beauty, and I really like it. Like I said, I genuinely truly loved the color story and the packaging and the vibes with it, and I actually really like Nikita. Like, I'm not gonna be, you know, lying here. I really love her style, and she's extra AF, which I kind of like that. That is it from me for today. I hope this video was by any means useful and relevant to you, and you might subscribe to this channel. I upload every single week at least a video, if not more. Definitely like this video if it was by any means useful, and let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this palette, if you are thinking of purchasing it or maybe not. But yeah, definitely write me down. Bye.